So you know how sometimes there's a movie that you don't really like, but then years go by and you mature and you grow as a person and you get a greater understanding of the genre that that film was in, and then you return to it and you have a brand new appreciation for it? That's not this movie. I still really do not like the first Final Destination film. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And welcome back to Thorgiween. We're not doing that take again. I'm shocked I got that opening out on one try. Anyways, all right. So yeah, welcome back to Thorgiween, where we're reviewing horror films all month long. And this is one that I've been meaning to return to for a while. People have been saying that the brand new Final Destination film is actually really good. Even people who hate Final Destination are like, no, this is actually good. So I was like, okay, I won't watch it. But I have not watched the Final Destination after the second film. Second film I remember liking. First one I did not like. So I was like, all right, before I can get to the new one, let me finally go ahead and knock this entire franchise out. Let me go ahead, go back to the beginning, start there. And man, I was really expecting like, okay, they made so many of these movies. Clearly there was something there that I didn't appreciate the first time I saw it all the way back in the year 2000. And I went back and we watched it this time. And nope, I still do not like this movie. I like it more than I did the first time I saw it. I will say that. I can fully confirm I do like this more than the first time I saw it, because the first time I was like, this is really just boring. This time I'm like, it's boring. But there's some pretty decent stuff in here.
There's like some silly parts. I don't know whether it was intentionally silly or not.
That's the thing, is that I think that this franchise, as it goes on, because I remember liking the second one more, and the second one leaned into the over-the-top stuff more. Mm-hmm. And that's what I kind of like about it. And for most people who I have spoken to who like this franchise, they say like, yeah, the deaths are the best part because they're all big Rube Goldberg machines. They're all big like this goes into this, which goes into this, which goes into that, which causes this to happen, and then this happens. And
yeah,
so that's part of the fun of this. Is like,
and the way the camera is angled, you think, oh, they're going to get killed by this thing. But then, oh, surprise, they're actually killed by that thing.
There's always some kind of a twist in it. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that part of the fun of this is watching how clever they can get with those kills. The kills in this I do not think are that clever. There's some that are okay. Like, actually, there's one that I did enjoy. I thought, like, okay, did not see that coming. Genuinely shocked. But the one with, okay, we're going in, that we'll say that for spoilers. But there's one of them that I was just like, dude, I don't even think you knew where this was going when you started it. And then, like, the first one that we see was like, it's fine. But let's get into the premise of this. For anybody out there who does not know what Final Destination is about, this is a film that stars Devon Sawa playing Alex, who is this kid who has a fear of flying. And he and his graduating class, it's a high school class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. His graduating high school class is all going off to Paris. And they're all boarding onto the plane, and suddenly he has a vision that the plane is going to go down. And he starts screaming, and he's screaming out, this plane's going to go down, everything's going to, it's going to blow up. And this was made in 2000, by the way. And man, talk about like the last time you could have made a film like this. Because this is what happens after that. He gets kicked off, and then like a friend of his decides to jump off with him. This other random girl decides to jump off with him. Like the school bully who's getting into a fight with him, he gets pulled off as well. And then one of the teachers goes out after them as well. And all I could think was, man, if this was like 1 year later, or this happened like at any time after 2000, if someone stood up and yelled, the plane's gonna blow, they would be like, everybody shut everything down. We're not moving. It's like, wow, man, it's just weird to me. That's like, man, this is a period piece, and it's the last year it could have been a period piece. But they get off the plane, and then as they're watching the plane go off, like, oh, there goes our trip to Paris, the plane does indeed blow up. His vision comes true. And they think, okay, well, it becomes like a film about like, okay, does he have these visions? What are they going to do now that they're these survivors? And then one of them dies in a very mysterious way. And they eventually learn death doesn't like to be cheated.
Yes.
You've made your way past death. And death is like, oh, no, I'm not done with you. You don't escape me. I'm going to find each of you, and I'm still going to kill you. And it's essentially just a film about trying to figure out a way to cheat death. And I think that is an interesting premise. I have to give it credit, despite the problems that I have with this first film. I gotta give you credit. That's something that no one had ever really thought up.
And that's probably why it became such a big franchise.
It's the premise of it did a lot of heavy lifting on this first film. Because I remember people talking about this back in 2000, and it was largely because that premise. That was something very different. So yeah, I do have to give them credit on that. But man, this is such a late 90s film. And not a good way.
Did you see this when it first came out?
I didn't see it when it first came out. I saw this when I went to college, which was a few years after it came out. And at that point, I remember the second film had also come out. And some friends of mine, they rented those two films and we watched them together. And yeah, I just found this one to be real boring. But then the second one kind of picked me back up. I don't know. When did you see this one?
Okay, so funny story about this. This was like back when I was in the military. So like basically I graduated from like sonar technician school, since that's like the class I've been giving and everything. And before I was gonna shipped out to my station, they were having like movie night in like the game room or something, and it was Final Destination. And I had no idea what the movie was about at all.
You went in totally blind.
Yes, I went in totally blind. So it's like, I'll just watch a movie, and then it's like, oh, I have to take a plane tomorrow morning. Shit.
Okay. If you did not know the premise, I have to ask, what did you think when you saw the vision? Because they do not let you know, like when he sees the plane blow up, it does not let you know that's a vision. It makes it look very real. What was your thought when that happened? Because if you didn't know that was going to be a vision.
Like, I guess I thought like that would be like the cold opening kill.
Oh, okay. So it was going to then cut to like different people?
Yeah, and then they're going to like solve like what happened. How did this person find out what, how it predicted it? And like if they were going to like, how, like basically how far does his visions go? It's like, would be like the final destination?
Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right, yeah. Because I didn't think about it until you brought it up right now. What an interesting film to go in completely blind on. Like, we talk about other horror films that's like, would be amazing to see if you didn't know them again. Like Psycho. If you had no idea what Psycho was about, that's an amazing film to just go in completely blind. I never thought about it. This one would be great too, because this is such a different premise. Your brain isn't going to instantly go, this is what the movie is about. No, that's kind of incredible. So, yeah, so how were you the next morning when you were getting on the plane?
Like, it was one of those things where it's like, this movie is so over the top, there's no way that's going to happen, but at the same time, it's like, but what if? That's the thing that always like, that's the thing that like really... Another thing about this movie that is so interesting is like, there's always like, the world is full of freak accidents.
Yes.
And there's always that what if.
Yes, it is. This is the film for people with paranoia. This is the film for those people out there who is like, there was a period of time, I'm way better now, but there was a period of time in which I got real sick, lost like a ton of weight in a year, and like my immune system was shot. And so for like 5-6 years, I was the biggest germaphobe because I lost like 100 pounds in a year.
Oh.
Yeah, like I was like, I've got no buffer left. If I get sick with something, it's going to just completely destroy me. So yeah, for like 5 years, I was so paranoid of everything. And so like I would go outside and I would like, if someone coughed down the block, I'd be like, oh fuck, what was that? And if, you know, if I saw something on the street, I'd be like, I could slip and fall. And that, like, I got so paranoid about this. I was like, yeah, I understand that. This is that film for those people out there who's like, oh man, what if that thing fell onto this? And I better not stand right here in case that happens. Yeah, it's like that. And also, I will admit, I also have a massive fear of flying. Like, to the point where you gotta dope me up if you're gonna put me on a plane. Like, it is bad. And I will say this. I've seen other films where people had a fear of flying. The beginning of this movie in which they're getting on the plane, it is the first time I've ever seen a sequence in a film and been like, whoever shot this has a fear of flying. Because everything they were doing was going down the checklist of things you experience when you're on the plane that freaks you out. Like when he's looking out the window at like the thing at the wing, kind of like
the wing flap,
the wing flap shifting up and down. I do that every time that I'm on a plane. When he gets on and he sees and he hears a baby crying on there, and someone goes, "Oh, good. That'd be a real fucked up god to take this thing down." And I was like, that's literally, if you have a fear of flying, that's the thing you do is you go, are there babies? Are there babies? God's not going to strike down a plane with a baby on. That's not going to happen. Like, yeah, that's literally the thing you do. And also, like, the way they emphasize the sounds of it starting up, like, that's definitely was like, yeah, it feels when you're on a plane, you have a fear of flying.
So basically, people who have a fear of flying are the only people who can tolerate babies on planes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've always said, like, I don't mind a baby on a plane. Load that thing up with babies. I do not. Listen, there's a ton of noises on a plane. I'll get used to the crying. The crying is just another sound on top of everything. That's never bothered me on planes. But also, like, the one that really got me is when you see in his vision, the plane actually starts to take off, and, like, everybody, like, leans back as you finally start to take off. Yeah, that when I'm on a plane, that's the scariest fucking part, is the moment that it actually lifts off.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point of no return. You can't get off the plane at that point. And man, I felt myself shift back in my seat when we were watching this sequence. I do not think this film is all that good, but I will give them credit. For someone with a fear of flying, they knew how to shoot that opening. They did a great job on that. After that, I got nothing. After that, this film is just kind of like, whatever. This film is kind of them just like digging around. And like, here's the thing. It's such a bizarre premise. Mm-hmm. It is such a crazy ass premise. And again, I'm not saying bad premise. No, I actually appreciate the premise. But it's so weird. It's one of those premises that nobody in the real world would ever jump to this conclusion. Ever. Like, if you had a vision of everyone you know dying on a plane, and then it turns out that plane actually did crash, yeah, you would go through some stuff in your mind. You would definitely try and be like, oh, what was that vision? Why was I saved? Was this? Was that? But if someone died then like the moment that his friend died, who was supposed to be on the plane with him, I guess spoiler alert for the first person that's going to die. Didn't think about that. But yeah, the moment that the first person dies who was supposed to be on that plane, he's trying to figure out, he does not look at it as like a freak accident, which he's got some reasons to think it wasn't a freak accident, so I'll give him that. Because like everybody rules that with suicide. And he looks at it like, no, that couldn't be. That does not make any sense at all. And so he's trying to investigate it. So he breaks into the morgue that night to try and examine the body. And then Tony Todd just shows up and acts like Tony Todd for 5 minutes and gives him the premise of the film, collects his check, and then gets out. And then they just go, oh, that man was right. He just shows up and goes, death has a design, and you can't mess with death's design.
I honestly thought like he was supposed to be the
That's always been the rumor. That's always been the, because he shows up in a lot of these films, actually. In fact, his last performance was in the newest Final Destination. And he always does the same thing. He just shows up, gives everybody the premise of the movie, and then he leaves. And yeah, there has been a running theory that he is the Grim Reaper. And it's always been like, well, if he's the Grim Reaper, then why on earth is he telling you what he's doing? Like,
maybe he's the Grim Reaper's messenger.
Maybe, yeah, like he's the herald of the Grim Reaper or something, or he's somebody else who, like the theory that I always has, he's somebody else who also had this happen to him, and he figured this all out. That's why he's a mortician, like he just studies death basically all day. So like that's always been my theory. But it's Tony Todd. If anybody was going to secretly be the Grim Reaper, it was Tony Todd. R.I.P. to that dude, man, a legend. Yeah, and I can't fault the movie too much for taking the easy way out on that one. For just pulling the like exposition cord there. Yeah,
because like you said, it's such a bizarre premise that you kind of have to explain it.
Yeah, like the only way that this happens after the first death. The only way that you could actually reasonably understand somebody figuring this out themselves is if they wait until after like the third person died and they start to go, okay, something's up. And there's definitely like a pattern here to what's going on. And by that point, there'd be what, 2 other people left alive?
Yeah, like half your friends would be gone.
Yeah, like you would have to have doubled the number of survivors in order to not have an exposition man suddenly show up and tell you everything. So yeah, I get it, but let's not pretend like it's not just them Deus Ex Machinaing that thing. But so after that, they try to figure out who's going to be next, what's happening with who. I will say the next death that happens, actually probably one of the best deaths in the entire thing, just because of how sudden it is. But then after that, it's supposed to be a tense film in which you're watching these people and you're like, oh, is this when they're going to die? Is this when they're going to die? And Devon Sawa keeps getting like visions of things that are going to happen, but they're such weird visions. Like he gets a vision that his friend is going to die. And the reason why he gets the vision is, man, I've already spoiled who's the first person that dies. Sorry. That cat is out of the bag. But he gets a vision of the first person that's going to die. And the reason he gets the vision is suddenly an owl just appears at his window. He freaks out, throws a porno mag at it. The porno mag gets shredded up on a fan. And like the name of his friend comes floating down off the shredded up paper. Like, okay, sure. This is a film that was like, listen, we know we're here for the kills. We just got to get to those. But there's some that are even worse than that. Like there's one later on that it involves a fire. He's just walking down the street and someone is burning leaves and just sees the leaves like dancing from him. It's like, oh, it's a fire. It's like, what? That's a common thing that you could run into every day. Well, all right, fine, whatever. It's also the wind is supposed to represent death in this thing. So anytime that there's wind, which in a way kind of makes The Happening an interesting tie-in with this. There's actually, I gotta point this out. We have not talked about this film yet, but we've both seen this film multiple times. I saw a video out there, and I'll admit I kind of tuned out halfway through because I was like, this guy's kind of full of shit. But I saw a video out there that theorized Tucker and Dale versus Evil is actually a secret Final Destination movie. I was like, you know what? I'm intrigued. Your views intrigue me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter. Like I said, halfway through the video, I was like, this guy is just reaching to make a video at this point. But I like the effort. I like that you tried on this. All right. I kind of want to go into the movie and try and see if I can make that better. All right. I kind of dig that. But yeah, it's a film that, again, I give them credit for trying. Mm-hmm. But this is just kind of a dull movie, and the kills are the thing that they know the audience is there for, and they're fine.
I mean, it's not like a plane blowing up, so it's kind of hard to top that.
I gotta admit, that is actually an amazing sequence. I guess.
That's the thing, is like the big kill happens at the beginning, so it's like you can't really top that.
But like I have seen, like I said, I saw the second film, but I've also seen like I've seen moments from later ones. And the thing that's supposed to be so scary in this film is the tension. It's, could this lead into this? Could this cause this person to die? Is it that thing? Is it this thing? It's which direction are you looking at? And this film doesn't really know how to do it.
Like, I wouldn't call it suspenseful, but it's like you're
tense.
Not like tense in like a scary way. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like an episode. Oh, somebody dies. Who finds out? It's like,
I see. Okay. It's like comic books used to do this all the time, in which when a character died, they would just put a bunch of faces on the cover and go, in this issue, one character dies, and you're like, oh, is it that one? Is it that one? Is it that one? Wait, I can just skip to the last page. Screw it.
That's basically what they're doing with this movie. That's kind of what it is.
Except that, like, you know who it's going to be each time. You're just trying to figure out how. So you need to be clever with that, and they're not. Like, there's one character who dies that involves, like, a mug cracking open and water slipping out of it, and I will admit they put some efforts into going from A to B to C on that one. But man, there is no, it's also
a real stretch.
It's also one of those things which is like, okay, you put in here several steps, and I applaud you for that. You could have made this simpler, and you tried not to, but each of those steps are kind of dumb. This is one of those that's like, that would never happen in real life. And also, like, it's kind of goofy, but in a stupid way, not in a fun way. Like, there's a moment in which someone gets killed in a bathroom, and you see water start seeping out of the toilet, and the water starts following them. Then they change direction, and they start walking a different way, and then the water stops and does a 90-degree turn. Like, dude.
And then, like, when he slips on the water
it sucks itself back up like Death is trying to cover its tracks.
Yeah,
like Death is trying to frame Devon Sawa on this.
Yeah, that's the thing that, like, really bothers me about this. It's like, I kind of want Death to be more, like, obscure.
Yeah. Like, whereas in this one, it feels like he has a personality. And it's like, Death, why are you covering your tracks? Are you afraid you're going to go to jail? Yeah, I don't think that they can catch you, man.
Now I'm just imagining Grim from Billy and Mandy try and chase after these kids. That would have been a fun movie.
That would have been better than this, yes. Man, that movie, I wonder if young people still know what Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is, because that was one of those shows I look back on, I was like, how did this get made? This is insane that this got approved. I love that show, by the way, but it is one of those things that's like, I can't believe like this made it past like the 5 people you have to get approval from. And it went on for like 5 seasons or something. Yeah, I love that show. But yeah, it's a film that's just kind of dull. And like, it's another one of those things where like, you talk about Death being obscured, but because there's nobody there, there's like a moment at the end in which Devon Sawa is trying to save another character. And it looks like their time is up. But because there's no one there, it's just like things are breaking and falling apart. And the people can't get away from the thing that's breaking and falling apart. It doesn't look like Death is coming for them. It looks like they're just idiots that like, dude, just go, move away from the dangerous thing. I do not feel the tension. And I know people are going to say it's like, well, they couldn't leave because of this thing. But the way it's shot does not feel like, oh my God, we're in an inescapable place. It doesn't feel like there's some evil force that is after them. It feels like these dumbasses just got caught in a situation, and it's like, man, you could have gotten out of here by now. It's like, I know you could have, because Death is keeping you there, but it's shot in a way that does not feel like Death is keeping them there. It's shot in a way that feels like, move, step aside, oh my God, stupid idiots. I will also say, I could overlook a lot of these things if the cast was more likable and was more entertaining. I do not care about this cast at all. Like, Devon Sawa is so bland. There's the love interest character for him who they might as well have 2 hands coming in from off screen going, kiss, now kiss. There was a moment later on, we had subtitles on because there was a few words I couldn't make out, so we put on subtitles. And there's a moment later on when she just starts calling him babe. I was like, wait, did you get established that you're in a relationship? Did I miss a scene in here? What happened in here? Like, it feels like a scene of them, like, kissing or something got cut out. Yeah, like, they're just apparently in a couple now. Then there's the bully who, man, I know a lot of people complain about bullies in movies because, like, man, there aren't bullies actually out there like that. It's like, man, you went to some nice schools. There are bullies out there like that. Even I'm looking at this dude like, dude, you are just a dick for no reason. Like, you see Devon Sawa and it is on sight. There was a moment even after he realizes, like, Devon Sawa saved his life by getting him off that plane, and he comes up and was like, even though you saved your life, that doesn't mean I owe you anything. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, that would have been some interesting development on his part if he was like, man, the guy I've been treating like shit saved my life. Like, maybe you could have done some character stuff. Instead, he's like, there's a moment in which he just flat out says to him, I'm never going to die. Even the dumbest teenagers with that, like, adrenaline that you get at that age of like, yeah, I'm gonna live forever, would never say that exact phrase. And you're in a movie that's about, you're definitely going to die. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm trying to think of something. Oh yeah, and the teacher, I'll give them some credit on the teacher because you would expect like the teacher to be like a beacon of like maturity or hope in these times or something. Like, Devin Sawa, like she's like, okay, yeah, it's the teacher. Of course, you turn to them for like guidance or something. They've been through some horrible shit. Maybe the teacher will have some wise words. Devin Sawa goes up to the teacher at the funeral and she goes, get away from me, you frighten me. Which again, horrible line. But I appreciate that they were like, no, we're not gonna do that thing with the teacher that you think. No, the teacher went through some stuff too. She's not handling this well. It's like, all right, that is a human thing to do. It's a horrible line that you wrote, but it's a human thing to do. I'll give you some credit on that. But yeah, I don't like any of these characters. They're bad or bland. I didn't even bring up Stifler's in here. Yeah, because he's like, also gets picked on by the bully, but not as much. And he's like sports, I think. He's kind of dumb, I guess. He's supposed to be the dumb guy. I don't know. He's just kind of there. They need another person to die. What would you give this film?
Maybe a B- or a C+ or something like that. Because like I can understand like its impact on like the horror movie genre because like you said, the premise is very unique, but like the way they try to pull it off is really silly. Yeah. And like you said, none of the characters are really either not interesting or not likable, so.
Yeah. I'd give it a C, like right down the, like, I know I talked a lot of shit on the thing, but I wasn't really talking shit. I was just talking meh. It's like, there's nothing in here that really makes me upset, but there's nothing in here that really makes me like it either. Like, it was just a film that kind of happened. I watched it. It's done. Like, yeah, I don't hate this film. I kind of nothing this film is very right down the middle. And in a weird way, hating a film is almost better because at least it's memorable. Yeah. I am looking forward.
Well, it's memorable for me for different reasons.
Yes. I will say, I do know it gets better after this. Then it gets worse. Then it gets better again. So we're not going to watch these all like back to back. It's Thorgiween, so we're just watching horror films at random this entire month. But later on, I do want to eventually go through this whole franchise. I do want to like go like, all right, let me actually finally experience the rest of this thing. So this wasn't bad enough that it turned me off from all of it. Then again, you all saw how I reacted to Friday the 13th Part 1, and we're going to eventually do the rest of those films too, so hey, nothing's going to turn me off from your terrible movies. The rest of the Friday the 13th films are not terrible, just that first one is. So yeah, I guess we should get into spoiler stuff now.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about this. There are a lot of things to spoil, because we can talk about each individual death in and of themselves. I kind of don't want to, because it's just like, yeah, it happened. The movie fucking happened. What do you want me to say? Yeah, we'll go into it though. We very much talked already about the first kill in there. After that, I will say probably my favorite kill in the whole thing is when that girlfriend character gets hit by the bus, simply because it is so out of nowhere. And it's amazing to me that the death that I like the most in this one is the one that doesn't follow the Final Destination Rube Goldberg like setup. Like this one just happens. It's like, all right, awesome. Then after that, there's the teacher, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the teacher. That one makes no fucking sense. Because she pours herself some hot coffee or hot tea or something. And then for no reason, she just goes, ah, and throws it. And I'm like, did she hear something or something? It's the logo of her school on the mug freaked her out. Dude, you could have thought of any other reason for her to throw that out. Or maybe just had her like take a sip of it and then just go, fuck it. And then pour it out. And then she gets the ice cold tequila out of there. Or no, it wasn't. It's vodka. You don't have, I don't drink tequila. Do you keep that like frozen cold?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't drink either, so you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, so she takes vodka out and pours that in the glass. So they wanted the hot and cold to mix in there to cause the cup to expand and crack so that it would start leaking. I was like, okay, I can see some good stuff in there. I'm not going to get over the fact that you literally just had her get afraid of the school logo on the mug she just grabbed and then kept drinking out of that mug. It's also, literally...
like the way she threw the mug. It's like, if I was scared, I would be dropping the mug.
Yes! It literally makes it look like there was a mouse or something that she saw. I was like, fuck that. Was
and then try to like splash water on it or some shit. Like,
but no, the explanation is that she's afraid of the logo on the mug and then keeps drinking from the mug.
Like, I understand, like, if the logo is triggering, but jeez.
You're going so far to try to... It's like, if you saw something on the mug that scared you, you drop the mug. Which, again, could have been, like, she drops it and it doesn't break, but it gets the little crack that we don't see, that she doesn't see. Yeah. It's, again, everything after that point is like, okay, you actually try it here. Nothing is going to make me forget how bad this kill starts. And then after that, they go on a big driving sequence with the bully in there. And I will admit, this is another one of the only, like, this is like, I think the only other death in here that I like is that he decides, like, fuck it, I'm going to decide when I die. So he parks on the track of a train. And then he just goes, nah, not my time, and decides not to get out. Then the train keeps coming.
Obviously.
And he can't get out. The car won't start. And the seatbelt won't unbuckle. He's stuck in there. So they have to save him. They pull him out of there. And then they barely get him out of there in time. And then Stifler, who I am forgetting his real name, Sean William Scott, there we go. He's there, basically finally telling the bully off. And then the train, like, hits a little, like, piece of metal in there and flies out and cuts off his head. And I will say... that is the one death that really sticks with me in this one, because every time that I see a train approaching, I have that thought in my head. And I do always step back a little bit. Like, even when we're on the subway, I always kind of like check, like, is there any random shit down there? Like, I still to this day do that. Like, that death has stuck with me. So I will give the film that. That's like the one death in here that I'm like, you know what? That's pretty darn good. That had the intended effect. Then there's the final sequence in there of him trying to save his... They want us to think it's his girlfriend, but they forgot the scene for that.
His last-minute girlfriend.
Yeah, okay. Fuck it, he's going out. So get that whole sequence in there. I just think that looks really silly and not interesting at all. Then it cuts to they have all survived, and the implication is that this does bug me. This bugs the hell out of me. It cuts to, like, she was next in line. Death is going in a pattern of who would actually have died first on the plane. Which never made a ton of sense to me, because they all die so quick in there. There is definitely a chance that, like, okay, even if you were right there where the explosion starts, I get hit by it 1 second later, there is totally a chance you could have held on for that 1 extra second longer than I did after getting hit by the fire. Like, who knows? But yeah, the purpose is that death is killing them all in the order that they would die on the plane.
Plane, trains, and automobiles.
I think that was one of the ones in a later film. Was a train crash. Or maybe I'm thinking of Unbreakable.
I don't know. There's so many Final Destination movies, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in one of them.
Yeah, I know there's the highway one in the next one, which that is memorable. That's one of those ones that scares the hell out of you. Because it is very relatable, but we'll get to that when we talk about that. What was I going to say? So basically the bully gets saved right before he's supposed to die. So they went on to Sean William Scott. So they said, oh, because I saved you right before I killed you, it then skipped to the next person in line. So you're safe now. So then his girlfriend is about to die. He goes in there and says, okay, I'm going to grab this electric cable. It will kill me, and that will cause it to skip you, so you'll be safe. So he sacrifices himself for her. And then it cuts to a year later, and they're both fine. They're getting on. They're all three of them were fine. They're getting on a plane. They're going to Paris like they were supposed to all those years ago.
I kind of made a joke like this was like a dream within a dream kind of thing.
It was going to go all the way back. I've always thought, well, a Final Destination film ends like that. That'd be crazy.
Because honestly, the way it kind of like faded away, it did seem like a dream sequence, and then he was gonna like wake up and be on the plane that was from the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Just Groundhog Day. Like every time that you die, you go back to the plane. But then it cuts, and they're all fine, and they're talking about like, yeah, we all managed to survive death there, and I was just like, no. The bully survived right before death and skipped him, went to the next one. Then the girlfriend survived because you tried to electrocute yourself, but you didn't die, meaning it how do you know that the reason why you survived is because like they gave you CPR in time? How do you know it's like, no, this just wasn't your time yet. I'm still coming for you. Like, that's always kind of bugged me. And also, even if like, okay, if you save the girlfriend, it should go on to you. But if you then don't die as well, how do you know the girlfriend is even safe? How do you know it's like, no, we're still on you?
Yeah, it's like, how do you know death doesn't like loop back around?
That was the other part of it. How do you know it doesn't loop back around? Like, man, you're making a lot of assumptions about a thing that nobody knows about other than Tony Todd. And even that sounds like he was winging it half the time. Tony Todd just started spouting some bullshit, but it's Tony Todd, so you perk up and pay attention. That dude could give you bad legal advice and you'd still be taking it because it's Tony Todd. So yeah, there's so many assumptions that they at the end go, yeah, we're all safe. And I'm like, no, the only one you know is safe for sure is the bully because you saw the guy after him die. The girl didn't see Devon Sawa die, meaning it could still be her turn. And even if you did save her and it went on to Devon Sawa, you didn't die either, so how do you know it's not still your turn? There's a lot of assumptions they just go to. And then that's the other thing. How do you know it doesn't loop back around? Mm-hmm. How do you know death is just going to go, oh, man, well, they escaped me twice now. I can't do it a third time. That's the rule. Everyone knows that.
I'll get you next time.
No, I can get you next time. It was twice already. That's the rule. Everyone knows that. Tony Todd told them. Oh, wait, he didn't tell them. Yeah, there's so many assumptions they make at the end. And then, of course, the reveal is that, no, it wasn't Devon Sawa's time yet. It is still his time. So it comes for him. The bully saves him. And then they realize, oh, wait, is this going to loop back around? Like, they just had that thought now. Which, in all fairness, it's been a year. So if I had gone a year without shit happening, I probably would have made the same assumption. I will give them that. It's been a year. But, man, yeah, it is still just like... It's still just at the end, they're just like, man, y'all just did not know how this movie was going to end, did you? You really didn't. But yeah, C, right down the middle. Anything else you want to add about?
Not really.
Yeah, this is fine.
I don't think I've seen any of the other Final Destination movies.
Yeah, well, we'll get to them eventually.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in. This film, it really does, it's not even like draining. It's just there. So it's like, all right, hope I didn't offend any of the Final Destination fans. But again, I think even the Final Destination fans are like, no, we get it gets better after this. Until it gets significantly worse, but then it gets significantly better. So, yeah, we'll talk about those in upcoming videos. But tomorrow on Thorgiween, we're going to be doing... I was going to think of trying some clever way to kind of tease this, but I don't really know a clever way to tease Funhouse. Because how many of you out there know what Funhouse is?
Next review is going to be a lot of fun.
There's so many things that could mean.
So make sure you stay in the house and watch.
No, I was going to make a joke about another film that has house and fun in it, but I was like, you know what? No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, bye, everybody.
Bye.